Okay, today our lesson, it's Unit 9, Lesson 2. It's about subtracting integers. And as you see, last time we introduced already Unit 9, Lesson 1 about adding integers. Now we're going to take the subtracting integers. But before we start the lesson, there is something very important to say, that addition and subtraction are opposite operation. What the meaning of addition and subtraction are opposite integers. Let's say I am adding -1. If I'm following addition and subtraction are opposite, that means if I take the opposite of the addition, it has to be the subtraction. Now we want to see, they are saying opposite operation. That means the -1 become +1. And if this is true, these two, they have to have the same value. So you are adding a -1. The final result is going to be -1. Or you are subtracting a +1. That means -1. So as you can see, they have the same value. So addition and subtraction are opposite. This is right. As you can see, this is addition, this is subtraction. They are opposite, means if it's negative, it's gonna be positive. This means opposite. So let's do it with another way. I have subtraction of let's say -5 equal to what? The subtraction, we switch it to addition. Now we need to do the opposite. The opposite of -5 is +5. So let's see. If I am moving a -5, that means +5. If I'm adding a +5, it stays +5. So as you can see, the same value. But again, if I'm studying between the subtraction and addition, they are opposite, means I switch the negative to positive. This is the meaning of opposite operation. So I hope that you understood this one. Very important, because the word opposite here, it's gonna lead us to the next lesson, which is subtracting integers. We will see how it works. So let's see the steps. To subtract an integer on a number line, move in the opposite direction of adding the same integer. This is very important to understand what the meaning of that. In lesson 1, we saw adding integers. We said if I'm adding a positive integers, I move to the right. Can you see green? Because positive, I move to the right. Green, this is what we got in the first lesson. And if I'm adding a negative integer, I move to the left. So I do it with red and red. Now, because we said to subtract an integer on number line, move in the opposite direction of adding integer, we're gonna take exactly the opposite. And I just explain why, because we are saying addition and subtraction are opposite operation. So let's take the opposite. When I subtract a positive integer, in green, a positive integer, what I'm doing, I move left. Can you see green and red? Opposite. So instead of going to the right, I go to the left. And to subtract a negative integer, usually when I add a negative, I go to the left. But here we will move to the right because they are opposite. So let's see some examples how we can do all of that. So let's start with the first one. I have a number line here. I have the algebraic expression here. I need to find the solution. So -4. If you remember from the beginning, we said we locate the first one. So -4, it's here. Now, as you know, I go to that level. I use a line. Okay, I'm gonna use this line, let's say, with the black color. Okay, I move a little bit up. Next, I'm subtracting or adding. I'm subtracting, so I have to note that I have to go to the opposite direction. Usually with the addition we go to the right when it's positive integer, so usually it's right 2 steps, but here because I'm talking about subtraction I'm gonna move left 2 steps, so 1 and 2, and I'm gonna say my arrow it's here at -6. Now I can check, is it right? I lost $4 and I removed from that again another $2. That means in general it's -6. Excellent. Let's go to another one. So how it works, we have a number line, we have another algebraic expression. Again we have to locate the first integer, so it's +5. So let's locate the +5. +5 means here. After I'm locating that on the number line, I will go up a little bit to continue my second steps. Again, if I was adding a negative, I go to the left, but because I'm subtracting I have to do the opposite, so it's right. How many steps? 4 steps. So I'll move 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm gonna say my arrow, and at this level that means +9. This is how I can do it on the number line. Let's do something more complicated. I'm gonna mix between lesson 1 and lesson 2 in one example, something like that. I have a number line, now I have 3 integers and I have 2 different operations, so it's mixed between lesson 1 and lesson 2. No problem. First thing, I have to locate the first integer, +5. So let's locate the +5. I have to go to +5 and locate it, and after that I go 1 step up to start next step. Next step is I'm adding, so if it's negative I go to the left right away. This is what we know. Because I'm adding, I go 3 steps to the left because it's negative number. So 3 to the left, 1, 2 and 3. Excellent. Now because I have another operation, I go up to go to the second level and see what we are going to do. I have what here? Subtraction. So I have to make note, this is the opposite of the addition. If it was addition, a positive, I go to the right, but because it's subtraction I go to the left. How many steps? 7 left. So again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and I end with the arrow, and I can write -5. It's gonna be my answer. So as you can see, this is the final answer of the operation. So today we learn that subtracting integers is the opposite of adding integers, and we already explained the reason. The reason was sample with this example, that addition and subtraction are opposite in operation. When I'm adding a -1, it's exactly the same when I subtract a +1. So as you can see, positive and addition and subtraction, they are opposite. Here it's negative, here it's positive, so they are opposite operations. I hope you understood this one, and next lesson is going to be Unit 9, Lesson 3. Thank you.